made me look good, I guess.
Dame, you have known, yourself for a while that you're back to kind of where you were physically, but psychologically, does it do anything for you to have a game like this and just get the first one out of the way of like a big game?
I mean, I think you have anytime you miss a lot of time, you looking for that breakthrough moment. And for me, I've had so many issues just physically. It was more stress and more of a burden for me as far as basketball, just not knowing how my body was going to feel for a couple years. And now that I'm free of that, I feel like that was the breakthrough moment for me. Just coming, playing pickup in September, getting through training camp without having to miss practices and being uncomfortable. And, once it came to the game, my game felt good. It was just a matter of time of when it was going to happen. But I think it is something there when you actually have one of those games. It's like, okay, I found my place, I found my footing, and I found a good space to be in. So I guess yes and no. But I mean, anytime you have a big game and you win, it feels good.
Game that unit that started the fourth quarter. What'd you like from that second unit kind of stepping up, getting the first win of the game? What'd you think of that kind of being back?
I think that's what you need to have to be a winning team. It can't just be when the starters are out there or when the front of the rotation is out there. Every guy has to be able to contribute, and every guy has to do their job. And when they got their second string in, we got to be able to steal those minutes. We got to be able to win that part of the game. And I think that was a huge reason why we was able to win tonight. That group, Nas, Drew, Ant, Shea, they came in and they won that stretch. And when they won that stretch, the crowd got into it. We took the lead at one point, and that kind of gave us the momentum to eventually win this game. With who?
With Ant and Dale.
Yeah.
Can you imagine what is going through their mind after that shot you made?
I mean, every time they've been together, I've been there, so I know that it's definitely gonna get talked about. But it's not like we're gonna see each other a lot. Both being in the Western Conference. It's a possibility that you play a team in the playoffs in the same conference. We go there, they come here. So I'm sure he's going to be trying to get his lick back the next time we see him.
How often have you seen Ant's little baby look like that?
Yeah, we actually do. That's like our warm-up drill stuff. And I told him when he went into it, it looked like a rep when we working out because he didn't really get into his body. He let him get, his time and get his footing and stuff like that. So I was just surprised that he went to it, but he did it in practice the other day, like before the regular season started. So that's turning into one of his go-tos. My hook, I mean, he more athletic than I am. So, once he gets to that launching pad, he get it up higher than I do. But mine's is pretty good. I say going the other way, mine's is better with the left hand.
Was there a moment tonight when you knew you had it going on?
I mean, honestly, I feel like I had a stretch like in the second quarter where I got rolling, but I didn't. I've had nights where I've had big nights and I could feel it. Like this is one of those nights where like I'm going to decide if I'm going to make us win this game. And I felt that way tonight, but it didn't feel like one of those nights where I just had it rolling like that. It just didn't feel like that. But I think right off the bat when I was able to recognize something that I recognized on film as an opportunity, and I scored my first basket doing it. I was like, okay, I'm gonna be able to find some holes and some gaps in the way that they defend, and I knew at that moment that I'll be able to be in control enough to have a good game.
It's like you already had it going, and then when Josh went to try to get the ball straight, it seemed like that flipped you to it even another space.
When Josh did what?
When Josh went to try to strip the ball from you when you were on the floor late in the first half. It looked
I
like
don't
that.
even remember.
Kobe.
I mean, I wasn't even. I was just trying to protect the ball. I wasn't really tripping on it, but it did turn into a little bit of a chippy game. It got physical, and everybody was at the referees. Both teams was kind of somebody said something to our bench, somebody on our team said something to theirs, and I mean, when the game goes there, I'm gonna go wherever the game go. That's where my energy is gonna go, and that's it turned into a chippy back and forth game, and I just got into the mix.
It's like you also had some words for DeAndre before he took those free throws. Is that a veteran getting in the ear a little bit?
I mean, I only asked him, I said, have you ever been in this situation before? Because it's not easy, you know, when you have to make the free throws. That's not an easy situation to be in because the whole game doesn't come down to one possession. You know, it's a lot of things that happen, but in a way, you know, you're looking at it like this is a chance to tie the game. So I just asked him, like, I just wanted him to think about it a little bit, like, you know, have you ever been in this situation? And he ignored me, and when he ignored me, I was like, you know, I'm pretty sure he's thinking about it, like, these big free throws. So.
Jedi mind check there. What would you say about the scrappiness of this team? The first half, other than you, everyone was struggling. But the second half, or even the first half, everyone played hard, but everyone played defense. What do you think about that aspect of the game?
I think it's the way that we're gonna have to win. We got to be a gritty team. We got to be tough. We got to be together, and we got to be willing to, you know, be true to that even when things aren't going well. And we didn't play great offensively in the first half. You know, we had some turnovers, a lot of turnovers. We missed some shots, but you know, we just kept coming, and I think that's becoming our identity as a team. You know, we scrappy, we gritty, we tough, and we together. And when you're able to sustain that over a full game, you're gonna find yourself, you know, with an opportunity to win a lot of times.
Dan, both in Sacramento and tonight, middle of the game, the offense has kind of gotten bogged down a little bit.
Yeah.
Chauncey's throwing a couple different looks, but more often than not, it seems like you guys are going back to some more spread pick and roll to kind of get things going again. How do you guys, throughout the season, continue to balance kind of the connectedness that was talked about so much at media day and going back to what you and Ant do best, which is score out of pick and roll?
I mean, I think we just got to make sure that we keep a balance, you know, to where it's not too much of or too big of a dose of one thing or the other. You know, me and Ant playing pick and rolls, we do it well. We can score at 3 levels, and we also have an offense where we can pick you apart. You know, we can execute really well without being in pick and rolls, and I think we just got to get comfortable with each other to the point where we're not just running the play where we know who's going to, you know, cut and make what kind of reads they're going to make and stuff like that. Then it makes it easier to execute some of our stuff. But I think that's just it. You know, we gotta play the game. And once we start to find those spots and find those moments individually, I think we'll be a lot more consistent offensively. I also feel like when we have success at something, and this is just us needing time to be together and, you know, guys on our team being young and haven't really got a lot of reps, is when you're doing something that's working and you're hurting the other team, you start to think that it's easy, and you kind of slowly get away from what you were doing because you get confident and you think that you can just, you know, do something different. And that's when things kind of fall back and you have some turnovers and you have some bad possessions and stuff like that. So we just got to get that in our minds. Like, when something is working, we execute, and we got to stay disciplined and stay sharp. And then, you know, we won't have those dips in our production offensively.